program was started in 1975, really proposed by Senator Russell Long as a counter-proposal to efforts in Congress to enact a negative income tax. And so this was the counter to that rather sort of ambitious public policy at the time in the mid-70s. And it started as simply an offset for the tax burden that the working poor might face. So the thinking was, working poor shouldn't necessarily have a tax burden at tax time, and this earned income tax credit could offset any potential tax burden that folks faced. So for example, tax year 2015, if you were to have a family making roughly $15,000, they would max out at the federal EITC on the order of about $5,500 in federal earned income tax received as a cash that they walk away with as a refund. But then the city would kick in, and that would be an additional 40%. So that would come in around $2,200. So you're talking just inside of $8,000 that a working poor family in DC could receive in the form of a tax refund. The EITC has quite a bit of bipartisan appeal. One of the challenges with the EITC, though, is that by construction, it's only received by individuals and families that are working. And so there are concerns that for people who are disconnected from the labor market, maybe for health barriers, maybe just because it's difficult to find a job in some local labor markets, well then they can't actually benefit from this sort of income support, from this supplement, because they need a job in the first place. In fact, the credit gets larger to a point with increasing earnings. So the more you make, the more you get, up to a point. One of the reasons why the EITC is thought of as a really important public policy is that we've seen it associated with higher rates of employment and lowered poverty. Some preliminary work that I have looking at the earned income tax credit here in DC, both the federal and DC's rather generous supplement of 40%, we find substantial poverty reduction from the program. And there's other folks who have researched this on a national level that have found that the program boosts work and it does lower poverty. So the evidence is promising on this. You have lots of folks who are working in jobs where the earnings leave them at or below poverty. So just simply having that bump up from the EITC proves very beneficial, proves very important for lowering poverty.